In today's video, I'm going to be taking you on a tour of Hixson, Tennessee. Now, Hixson is a gorgeous suburb of Chattanooga, and it offers this tranquility while also having easy access to the city of Chattanooga. When it comes to location, Hixson is just northeast of downtown Chattanooga, and it's a very doable drive. So in this video, we're actually going to get on the ground and cover everything you need to know before making a move to Hixson, Tennessee. Okay, let's jump into the video. The first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to Hixson is the outdoor lifestyle. I think this is one of the major perks to living in the Hixson, Tennessee area. Before we start exploring specific parts of Hixson, let's talk about the general overview of this community. So Hixson got its start in 1821 when John and Ellender Hixson started a homestead in this area. Now, when they settled in the area, this was part of the Cherokee Nation, and I believe that they came from either Virginia or North Carolina and migrated down this way. Their family can actually trace its roots back to England in the 16th century. So when they settled in the Hixson area, this place would have been very, very different. There were no dams on the Tennessee River, so the river landscape would have looked very different. There was no settlement. They would have had to have gotten by just farming, trading, hunting, and hoping for the best. Since 1821, a lot has changed. In the mid-1960s, Hixson started to see a lot of growth as Chattanooga began to grow and expand, and that's when Hixson really started to take off. At the time of the 2020 census, there was about 14,000 people living in Hixson itself. I would assume that that number has grown quite a bit by now because it has been such a sought-after suburb to move to in recent years. The North Chickamauga Creek runs through Hixson, and right along it is Greenway Farms. Now, this is a 180-acre park with beautiful, beautiful access to nature. There are roughly 6 miles of trails that are either dirt, gravel, or asphalt. It's such a beautiful place to get out with the kids, with the family, and enjoy Hixson. When filming this video, it was actually my first time to go to Greenway Farm, and I had read about the TVA rock quarry, which is where they mined a lot of the rock used in the building of the Chickamauga Dam. But I did not expect the quarry to be as impressive as it was. Unfortunately, I only brought one camera with me, and it doesn't quite do justice to how impressive this quarry is. A few other highlights for Greenway Farm: there's a dog park, a picnic pavilion, there is actually even a convention center there, there's a historic farmhouse, and they even have canoes and kayaks that you can take on the Chickamauga Creek. Welcome to Greenway Farms. I have lived in the greater Chattanooga area off and on since about 2003. And this is my very first time coming here. Look at this. There's all this water. There are walking trails, wide gravel paths. There's even canoes up there. Now, I don't know if you can just take the canoes and hop in the water, but it's crazy. I had no idea that this was here until researching this video. What are some of the highlights for Greenway Farms? Well, there are 6 miles of walking paths. Some of those are paved, some are crushed rock, and some are just dirt trails. There are 2.5 miles of waterway that is perfect for kayaking, canoeing, just getting out and enjoying nature. I mean, you could bird watch out here. I don't know if you can fish. You might be able to. We'll have to check on that. But this is absolutely gorgeous. Now, there's also the historic TVA rock quarry, and I'm gonna go see if I can check that out because I've never seen that in my life and it sounds interesting. So let's go see if we can find it. As you can see, I'm on this dirt path here. Over to the right side, we've got the North Chickamauga Creek, and then up this way, supposedly, there's the old TVA rock quarry, and I think it's supposed to be flooded. To be honest with you, it just looks like a lot of woods up here. The other things that make Greenway Farms cool is there is an off-leash dog park with all kinds of obstacles and cool things for dogs to run through. There's also a convention center. There are a few historic buildings, and there's some nice open field space where you could run, throw a ball with the kids, just get out and enjoy nature. All right, I think I've found it. Everything is roped off right behind me. Looks like, yep, it's pretty steep. It's a nice little cliff here. I don't know if you can see that so well. I'm trying to find a clearing so you can see. That is very steep down there. Okay, so you might not be able to see this, but there's a cliff right here and it goes down probably maybe 40 feet. And then we've got like a, gosh, that's probably 90, 100 feet of cliff face over on that side. This is crazy. I had no idea this was here. I wonder if people cliff jump back here. Really don't know, but this is cool. I wore the wrong outfit for this. It's really hot. Luckily, this is a linen suit, but still. Goodness, so shout out Greenway Farms. This is the coolest thing I never knew about in Hixson. Like, wow. If you move here, come visit. Okay, it's official. I'm coming back here sometime in some actual hiking clothes. And I'm gonna really check this place out. Super cool. And look, there's the North Chickamauga Creek on this side. You probably can't see it. And there is the abandoned quarry on that side. What a cool place. Hey, really quick, I am a licensed real estate agent in both Tennessee and Georgia, so if you're thinking about making a move to the area, I would love it if you booked a meeting with me. It's absolutely free, and in the meeting, I can help you go over goals for your relocation and find the perfect neighborhood for you. So go ahead and book that through the link in the description. I look forward to meeting you. Back to the video. Another incredible highlight to Hixson is Chester Frost Park. Now, this is a 280-acre park on the Chickamauga Lake, and it is absolutely gorgeous out there. When filming this video, I got out there right around 8 a.m. and the sun was coming up, the birds were singing. It was so beautiful out there. A couple of the highlights for Chester Frost Park: there is a public boat ramp. There are over 200 RV campsites. There is a swimming beach, and there is this cool obstacle course on the water right now, which is super awesome. I had no idea that that was up there. And they host a number of events and competitions up there in the park. For instance, there is a fishing competition there in the park, and the Hamilton County Fair has happened at Chester Frost Park in the past. So I'm currently standing here in Chester Frost Park in the northeast corner of Hixson, and this is a beautiful park that is on the Chickamauga Lake, or as many people call it, Harrison Bay. Just across the water here is Harrison Bay State Park and the suburb of Harrison, Tennessee. But that's not the focus of today's video. Today we're talking about Hixson. The quick highlights on Chester Frost Park: there is tons of access to outdoors and nature. There's beautiful scenery, picnic areas. This is such a cool spot to have as part of the community. It is a draw that brings so many people out. They do events here, festivals, fairs, all kinds of things. And it is just a huge asset to have for the community. Okay, so the last time I was at Chester Frost Park was in February, and needless to say, they did not have this obstacle course thing here in February. It's just really cool to be here in the summer. I didn't realize they put that up. I don't know if that's a new thing or not. That is one of the cool things that you can do here in Chester Frost Park. Might have to come back this weekend and bring my nephews or something and go play on that. That looks fun. Now, those are the two major outdoors highlights in Hixson that are super family friendly and really accessible. There's also the Valley Brook Golf Course, which is a great golf course. It actually used to be a stop on the PGA Tour, so that's its claim to fame. In addition, there is the North River YMCA, so if you're looking for a gym or community sports, then that could be a great place to get involved. There's also the Hixson Community Center and North River Civic Center. These are both great places with things to do for the family. So between Chester Frost Park, Greenway Farms, and Valley Brook Golf Course, there are a number of amazing recreational activities to do. In addition, don't forget the lake. There's boating, fishing, swimming, and plenty more to do on the lake. There are also some other small parks and things to do in the Hixson area, but the big ones are Chester Frost, Greenway Farms, and the Valley Brook Golf Course. Now that we've covered all that, let's move on to talking about the housing market in Hixson, Tennessee. So when it comes to housing, there really is a wide variety and a wide blend of housing options available in Hixson. There are some older homes on larger lots. There are some newer custom builds on large lots. And then there are a lot of your tract home builders that are offering more affordable pricing. And then there are also some higher end tract home builders that are stylizing their homes a bit more and focused more on creating a cohesive community. Hixson was actually settled in 1821 by John and Ellender Hixson. And so the area is pretty old. There's a lot of history to it. And there are some glimpses of that older settlement style architecture still coming through. In the late 1960s and early 70s, Hixson really was seeing a surge of growth, and that's when a lot of the development that's there now started to come in, all the way up until the 1990s. Then Hixson took a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a breather, and recently it's undergoing a new renaissance. There's a new surge of growth in the Hixson area. The price you can expect to pay for a house in Hixson is going to vary widely depending on what you're looking for. I would say that the median home sale price is somewhere in the mid $300,000 range in 2025 in Hixson. Now you can definitely find some deals that are a bit cheaper than that, and you can find homes that are much more expensive that are new construction or in the luxury market, but that's kind of the general picture. So a couple of neighborhoods that I think are worth noticing in the area: Green Tech Homes has the Farmstead, and this is a beautiful, beautiful community. of modern new construction. In terms of build quality, the homes are a few notches up, and there is beautiful community space in the neighborhood. Now, there are also a number of older tract home communities in the Hixson area that offer quite affordable housing. There are some large custom homes overlooking the lake. Another favorite neighborhood of mine in Hixson is the neighborhood surrounding the Valley Brook Golf Course. Now, this is an older area. The golf course was developed in the 1960s, but the neighborhood surrounding it was one of the first golf course neighborhoods in the United States. This is actually a relatively new concept when they were building out the neighborhood. So there's a lot of very cool mid-century modern homes in this area, and I think there's a lot of potential for revitalizing some of these homes and for updating them and preserving some of that character that made that era so special. Another one of my favorite communities is Hidden Harbor. They have a small HOA fee. There are a couple of pools. There are some playgrounds and pickleball courts in the community that are accessible to members of the community, and it also has its own boat ramp. So if you want to own a boat and get out on the Chickamauga Lake, that would be a great place to look for a home. There's a pretty wide range of house prices available in that area, but you can get something starting in the mid $300,000 range and going a little bit higher than that, but they're nice homes. It's a nice community. Okay, now that we've talked about housing and things to do, let's get into some of the commercial amenities, some of the things that make living in Hixson really, really nice and convenient. And for that, we're gonna head over to Highway 153, where all the action is at. Let's talk a little bit about shopping and dining and lifestyle. So in Hixson, there are a couple of main corridors. One of the main ones is Hixson Pike. Another main road is 153. Now, right along 153, that's where most of your big box stores and nationwide commercial chains are going to be. So you've got places like Target, Academy Sports, Lowe's, Home Depot, and the Northgate Mall. When I think of Hixson, one of the first things that pops into my mind is the Northgate Mall. Like a lot of small town malls in America, I think that the Northgate Mall has had its ups and downs. But last time that I went in there, which was actually for the filming of this video, I was actually kind of surprised and impressed by how the mall is coming back. The Northgate Mall is anchored by stores like Belk, Old Navy, and Ulta. There's also an American Eagle in there and a number of other small chain stores. And then immediately around the mall, you've got TJ Maxx, Ross, Michaels, and a bunch of dining options. Right along Highway 153, you've got all of your major steakhouses like Outback, Longhorn. There's a bunch of other ones, but I'm forgetting their names. Anyways, there's a bunch of your major chain restaurants. You've got an Olive Garden there as well. There's Panera Bread. There are a few Starbucks locations. For those of you from the West Coast, we do have a Dutch Bros over there, which is exciting. I like Dutch Bros, but really this is a beautiful area. Now along Hixson Pike, which is one of the other main roads in the area, you have access to a Walmart. There's also a Publix there and a number of other chain stores, fast food places, and local service businesses. Right next to the Northgate Mall is CHI Memorial's Hixson location. So there is a decent sized hospital right there in Hixson, and it's very centrally located, meaning that pretty much anywhere you are in Hixson, you could get to an emergency room within about 10 minutes. If you're thinking about living in Hixson and working downtown Chattanooga or at any of the other major employers in the Chattanooga area, you're looking at about a 20-minute commute. The average commute from Hixson to downtown Chattanooga is just over 20 minutes. Kind of the major employers in the Chattanooga area would be the Volkswagen and all of the suppliers that support Volkswagen. There is also the Blue Cross Blue Shield of Tennessee, which is headquartered downtown Chattanooga. You've got Unum, which does insurance. There's McKee Foods, the makers of Little Debbie. There's Erlanger, CHI Memorial, and Park Ridge Hospital Systems. And in downtown Chattanooga, you have kind of an emerging tech scene. There's also big employers like TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, EPB. They do electric and internet service. So there are a number of fairly substantial employers in the area. Let's move on to talking about education and family resources. So in Hixson itself, there are 5 public elementary schools. There's Big Ridge, DuPont, Hixson, McConnell, and Gans Middle Valley. There are 2 middle schools, Hixson and Loftus, and then there is 1 high school, Hixson High. There are also a couple of private schools. There's Brianne Academy and Boyd Buchanan School. If you want to know ratings on any of these schools, I would encourage you to check out greatschools.org. Make sure to research the schools in the area that you're planning to move before you make your move. So who is Hixson right for? Well, if you're a family and you're looking for a little bit more space than some of the other neighborhoods in Chattanooga and affordability is important to you, then Hixson could be a good fit. If outdoors and outdoors recreation are important, then that's another thing that Hixson really has going for it. And if a relatively close commute to downtown Chattanooga is important, then that is another strong factor for Hixson. That's going to be it for this video. If you're thinking about making the move to Chattanooga, I would love it if you booked a meeting with me. You can do that through the link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. And if you made it this far in the video, YouTube thinks you might like one of these videos here. I make all kinds of content about what it's like to live in the greater Chattanooga area. So go ahead and check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.